Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dan. Thank you for joining me here on Soundbooth Sessions, live from Sellersville Theater. We are very happy that you are joining us here today on Soundbooth Sessions. Let's see, we've got a very active comment section already. We have Chip Moody tuned in without even knowing who was on the show tonight. Welcome, Chip. You are going to be thrilled that you're here. Marie Justine Lentz is very enthusiastic about what's going to happen tonight. She knows what's in store. Patrick Hickey, good to see you again. Welcome back. Looking forward to your large emoji faces. Hello, Uncle Michael. Hello, Aunt Denise. And Dawn's here. Hi, Dawn. Jackie. Hello. Hello, Aunt Nilsa. Daniel J. Horton, hi from CLE. What does CLE stand for? Cleveland. Cleveland, they know. What do I know? Another hello from Detroit, Michigan. Kevin Pound met King Solomon Hicks at last year's College Park Free Blues Festival. He's an amazing musician. He certainly is. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our weekly show. Why have I paused? Can you guys see me? Am I moving? Yes, I'm moving. Okay, good. I like starting off with a nice technical glitch here, but I think we are all right. Right? You can see me? Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. So, of course, we want to start off by extending a big welcome and a big thank you to any Sellersville Theater members and sponsors who might be in the crowd. Wave your hands. Let us know you're there. We'll give you a shout out. We love you guys. And, of course, your support is never more appreciated than it is right now in these very difficult times. So let's see. This is going to be a tremendous show. I'm thrilled to have with us a very talented young man. He is currently WXPN's Artist of the Month. So if you are an XPN listener, you've probably been enjoying his music all month long. He is a mascot recording artist. You might have met him on the Kiss Cruise or on one of his two appearances on Joe Bonamassa's Blues Cruise. I bet that was a lot of fun. And of course, his newest album, Harlem, was released on March 13th. Yes, that March 13th. That's the Friday the 13th, where this whole quarantine thing really kicked into high gear. I'm excited to meet him. I'm excited to talk to him. This is his debut performance, and here at Sellersville Theater, and I think it's his very first live stream. So let's make it a good one for him, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, please click on the heart emoji or the like emoji or the clap emoji, whatever tickles your fancy, and join me in welcoming, all the way from New York, King Solomon Hicks.
Sing the blues every day I sing the blues. If you see me worry, baby, it's you I'd hate to lose. Pack my suitcase, move it on down the line. Pack my suitcase, move it on down the line. So there ain't nobody worried, and there sure ain't nobody crying. nobody seems to care. Ask me about my troubles, you know I'd had my share. Every day I sing the blues. Every day I sing the blues. If you see me worry, baby, it's you I'd hate to lose. If you see me worry, baby, it's you I'd hate to lose.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is King Solomon Hicks. Hello, King Solomon, Your Majesty. Welcome to Sellersville. We are very excited to have you here. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be back in Pennsylvania, and it's even feels better to play for each and every one of you virtually. And you're not in the house, but I can picture and imagine in my head that you're there. And I'm joined by my friend, 3-time Grammy Award-winning Kirkiano on bass, and it's just cool to be out here in Sellersville.
Oh, man. Well, we are thrilled to have you. The comments section is already a Twitter. We've got lots of claps, lots of thumbs up. A lot of people here. This is their introduction to you, and they seem to love it. A lot of people have already joined the party and already know who you are and are very excited. Folks, in the comment section, I should remind you, I didn't mention that when you are interested in supporting this show and King Solomon Hicks and Sellersville Theater, head down to the comment section down at the bottom. That's my wife texting me right there. I'll go ahead and there we go. And head on down to the comment section where there is a pinned comment, and that comment will contain the links where you can visit King Solomon's Venmo and PayPal, as well as a Venmo and PayPal for Sellersville Theater. All of your contributions will be split between parties this evening. Thank you very much for your support, and for the rest of you, please make sure that you click and comment as much as possible. King Solomon Hicks, I gotta ask you, this is the second suit I've seen you in today. You pulled up in a car wearing a suit, and now you are wearing a different suit. Are you always such a snappy dresser?
This is an everyday thing, but you got to see the suit that I leave with when we finish.
You gotta go in away suit too.
Well, you sweat the one out on stage. You got to have one or five.
Well, that's excellent. So tell me, how does it feel to have this new album out? Harlem is a tremendous album. I love it. It's got a wonderful blend of sort of the traditional blues feel with some modern production, some modern sounds, some old sounds. How long have you been working on it?
For me, it's a huge achievement. It was not something that we just recorded in a few days and it was finished. And I was fortunate to work with such a great producer and have the time to work on each individual song, and just the different musicians that was able to play on the album. And the full CD is quite cool. And just to go from when I first started and to now have a CD that has a little bit of blues, some funk, some rock, and has such a wide palette is kind of a testament of how I grew up and how I got my musical roots, and it's just have to keep on pushing.
Yeah. So your biography mentions that at age 13 you were playing lead guitar as part of the house band, at the legendary Cotton Club in Harlem, New York, which of course has an unbelievable history of live music with Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway and many others. First of all, how did that opportunity come about for a 13-year-old musician?
Well, no, I was also very lucky. The club is closed now, but up in Harlem, there was this place called the Lenox Lounge, and there was a singer who would sing at the Cotton Club. And one day my mom brought me to the Lenox Lounge, and I was playing, and they called it the Zebra Room, and it was the room all the way in the back. And she said, hey, you should ought to come down to the Cotton Club. It's every Monday night, and the owner, I think he would like you. And I ended up dropping by, and there was a full 15-piece big band, and the owner saw that I was a serious musician at the time, and he allowed me to grow there, and it was almost like a musical school for me growing up.
Sure.
My mom would take me there 5 nights a week because they had shows,
Wow.
During that time, Monday night, the weekends, and the little things in between. But just to work with a 15-piece big band, and I know what everybody out there is thinking. No, it's not the original Cotton Club, not with Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway.
Oh.
But it has been around since the 70s, and just
Okay.
The fact that it's been keeping the music going on, and there's tap dancers. There's other places that feature jazz music, but it's one of the places where, the bands and bow ties, and I keep the tradition going.
Well, so tell me about, like, when as a 13-year-old, how do you already have the chops to be able to hang with such heavyweights? Like, when did you start playing, and where were you in your musical development at age 13?
My parents started getting me guitar lessons when I was 6 years old. And at 13, I was already started doing some of the jam sessions around Harlem. St. Nick's Pub, the Lenox Lounge was a place where, I'll be honest with you, looking back at it, I had some chops, but I didn't have, the chops that, musicians would like, when you're playing with somebody to really have fun.
Uh-huh.
And of course, we went through that turbulence with some of the older musicians in the band. Some of them were generous, and they taught me along the way, but some, of course, were like, oh, well, who wants the young kid in the band? But the owner saw that, I guess he saw something in me, and I just always loved guitar, and I kept on. And the musicians that were in the band really inspired me not to just be the fastest guitar player, but taught me a lot about soul and how to connect to the audience, and not just about playing to play, but how to play from your heart. So it's those little things you just don't get in the books. And it's either sink or swim. And if I wasn't good the next week, I'm sure they wouldn't have invited me back.
Well, I'm wondering about how nervous. What were you feeling like at that? Which was more nervous, the first rehearsal or the first gig?
It's funny. We didn't even have a rehearsal. It was kind of. I remember the first night. They just threw me up on the stage.
Unbelievable.
And I knew enough, to tell the band the key. I knew what song I was doing, but it's a cool way. The same way I felt then. The nervousness is the same nervousness I feel now.
Is that right?
I guess where I do my thing now, of course, with more confidence, but I remember that feeling of just being on the stage, the glass doors, the alto, there's like 5 saxophone players, 2 trombones, 2 trumpets, and it's like it just kept hitting the wall every Monday night until I got better, and months turns into years. It's like, man, this kid just keeps on coming back. When does he ever play a video game? Does he? That type. I was still going through school, and after graduating high school, did a couple of tours and everything. And the Cotton Club, before this whole COVID mess started to happen, it's still my home when I'm not on the road. And we get back from Spain or France or wherever we're out touring, and Cotton Club is always like a second home.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's hear some more music, and we'll get to know you a little bit more down the road. And I appreciate that. What are you going to play for us?
Oh man, this is one of my favorite songs off the record. It's called "Headed Back to Memphis." Packing up my dreams and this old guitar, gonna hit the road underneath the stars. And I don't care if I never see your face again. Oh no, I won't hide from the mountains up ahead. Oh no, I won't hide from the things that you said. Headed back to Memphis, oh, I'm headed back. Going to get ahead of the storm. Headed back to Memphis, oh, I'm headed back where you can't hurt me no more. Gonna lift it up, then tear it down. Break on through, get out of this town. Said I don't know if I never see your face again. Oh no, I won't hide from the mountains up ahead. Oh no, I won't hide from the things you said. Headed back to Memphis, oh, I'm headed back. Going to get ahead of the storm. Headed back to Memphis, yeah, headed back where you can't hurt me no more. Said I'll leave it all behind, I won't waste my time. You were a big mistake, I got to fade away. I won't look back on what we had, I'll just fade away, yeah. Headed back to Memphis, oh, I'm headed back. Going to get ahead of the storm. Headed back to Memphis, oh, I'm headed back where you can't hurt me no more.
Sounding good.
Thank you. Hope you all do fine out there in Facebook land. This is also a song from the record called I'd Rather Be Blind Than to See You Go. 2, 3, 4. Travel the highway, I make many scenes, being lost in the darkness. I've been out on the streets, I feel so unhappy, times I wanted to die,
But if I had your sweet love, I know I'd get it right. I know for a strong woman, yeah, who can be weak. It makes me feel so good every time she speaks. Oh, the revelation in a smile makes me feel so good. Oh, when so don't leave me, darling. Whatever you do, I stand right beside you till we get through. And there's only one thing I want you to know, oh yeah, I'd rather be blind, yeah, than to see you go. Only one thing that I want you to know, I'd rather be blind than to see you go. Only one thing that I want you to know, I'd rather be blind, yeah, than to see you go. Want you to know, yeah, I'd rather be blind than to see you go. Rather be blind, yeah, than to see you go.
Oh, I'd rather be blind than to see you go. What a great line. Solomon.
Man, you know what's funny? Everybody, when they hear this song, they think of the Eddie James "Rather Be Blind," and I kind of like it because it reels them in. Then it's like, wait, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I said, no, this is the we did a take on the Freddie King classic, and also Leon Russell wrote it for Freddie King.
Oh,
but going after that, then Eddie. But nothing, not knocking Eddie James. It's a powerful song too.
it certainly is. I am. I got to tell you, I am blown away by your guitar playing. For those of you at home, I don't know if you can see, but there are no guitar pedals on that stage. All of those different tones that King Solomon is making, he is just doing with his hands and with his instruments. Tell me a little bit about your particular style. First of all, how are you producing so many different tones and even different levels of saturation? You're being so expressive up there. Can you give us a little peek behind how you make all those cool noises?
Well, just following the steps of, I like to say the three kings, or when you watch Eric Clapton play, they spend a lot of time on the volume and tone knobs. And I guess maybe it's a mix of different things, but my background, it wasn't, oh, I want to buy all these different effects pedals. And, later on, also having the record, we use different sounds and tones to make the guitar sound a certain way. But
Right.
Just being around listening to people like Wes Montgomery and Joe Pass first, that's kind of how the no pedals thing started. But
Have you always not used any pedals?
oh no, I had a time where I loved a good overdrive. Had a tremolo pedal, and it's still some different things. But as I got older, I kind of just went back to more of the classic B.B. King, Peter Green, Freddie King, that type of not a. I mean, I can always have some sound effects, but I like just the natural sound of the room, the super ramp, tubes. It sounds good, and with the Benedetto guitar, it's half the job done.
Well, there's nowhere to hide, you see.
Oh no, it can't run, can't. It's all in the fingers.
And you know what? When you strip it down as far as you have this evening, with no drums, no Wurlitzer, no B3 to swoop in and save you, you really. It's a super spotlight on the sounds you're making up there.
Oh man, if I was just thinking, what would make this night perfect? I had a harmonica player that was somewhere near, man.
Well, you know what? I'll see if I can whip one up, whip one up for you.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
So tell me a little bit about your a little bit more about your guitar playing. So who have been the influential players in your life who have taken you under their wing and sort of shown you some of the ropes? You mentioned some of your influences there, but have you had any guitar players? I know you mentioned Melvin Sparks a few times in your
Yes.
bios. What's your relationship with Melvin, and what's he shown you?
But Melvin was one of the guitar players for the great organ player Charles Erland, and when he was younger, he used to play at the Cotton Club, and when he started touring, I guess he got, didn't have to play there as much anymore. And one night he was visiting the club, and I was playing that night, and I didn't know who he was or his history, and he wanted to show me his guitar, and he brought me downstairs, and he had a Gibson Super 400. And for those who don't know, it's a very rare and expensive guitar, and he started playing, and it was just I was like, man, I never knew anybody could have that much jazz, but also insert that much blues into the playing and not just have it. Because being around saxophone players, a lot of, I saw him, you got to learn Charlie Parker and, and Stan Getz, which is beautiful, and people make it sound good. But Melvin was one of the first guys that said, oh, man, I can. And he was from Texas. That's probably why he understood, had a good sense of both. And then later on, growing up, I met this other guitar player that played at this club in New York City called Terror Blues. And even though I was doing my own thing, as a guitar player, sometimes other guitar players and guitarists can be standoffish and look at it as your competition, which is rightfully so. But one guitar player that let me play in his band and kind of absorb the blues history and knowledge was this guy named Junior Mack. And he plays with J-Mo's jazz band, and J-Mo's the drummer for
yes.
Yes, and all that history. But he tours, and he was just one of the guys that he would send me songs. Hey, Solomon, play this lick. And it was just an all-around cool guy. And also other people like Clarence Spady, who's known in the Pennsylvania area and just played with a ton of cats. But it's kind of torchbearers like those that pass down the history and songs. But just also a lot of other good mentors that I met along in my life that kind of just dropped little, golden nuggets of just information. But it's cool, I hear guitar players like Derek Trucks talk about it, like, oh yeah, when I was younger, guitar players used to show me things, but now that as I got older, nobody wants to show me nothing anymore. Which is, and now you just have to take it and learn for yourself. And I consider myself a student of the blues because there's so much vast history of not just Memphis, but Chicago blues, Texas, and not to talk about hill country and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of learning and a lot of good players. So it's a continuous lifestyle.
Who are you inspired by these days?
Oh man, that is. I was listening to Bluesville on the way over here. Big Walter Trout, Chris Kane, of course Eric Gales, Bonamassa. I would. Wouldn't be right if I wasn't mentioning Marcus King and Kingfish. Those are like guys that I constantly on my radio. And just a whole cast of other stellar musicians. And not just guitar players, but singers and entertainers, too. I'm a big fan of Beth Hart. And just her sounds and production, got a chance to open up for her. But those are, some of the guitar players I'm currently listening to now, and even like the monster Mike Welch and some of those guys, and Selwyn Birchwood, the late great Lucky Peterson, and all those guys. There's a huge list, but I always like to sum it up with the Three Kings, B.B. Albert Freddie, and a lot of Eric Clapton. And that's why I try to,
Three Kings, and now you're a fourth. You're a fourth.
Well, I got a long way to go, and I look at it as you have to pay your dues, and it's not something that you just get. You have to stick with it, and really, it has to come out the heart. You can't fake it.
You mentioned a moment ago how you were listening to the difference between jazz and blues, and I'm just wondering, as a guitar player who I guess has some experience with both, can you articulate a little bit for us what is the difference between jazz guitar playing and blues guitar playing?
I would say one of the main differences for me is just the vibrato and how someone touches the string. Where in jazz, you're focusing on a whole lot of notes, and you're trying to be almost like a saxophone player when you're playing through changes, where when you listen to blues guitar players, it's not as many notes, and instead of playing 5 notes, maybe just play 1 note and just let it shake and hang on it for a while. And it's less of trying to hit the brain and more of hitting the heart. And it's hard to explain, but I like to say the best jazz has some blues in it, and the best blues has a little bit of jazz. Or like when you hear people like Robin Ford, it's like they have the great blues tone, but yet you can hear all the Coltrane licks, the Charlie Parker, but still somehow he always goes back to the blues, and he does a great job at it.
I love that.
One of the best.
Yeah. Thank you for that description, and thank you for your stories. You got some more music for us, sir? Your Highness?
We're going to need some help with this one. We're going to take it back to old Sonny Boy Williamson song. See, I need some help. Somebody help me. I can't make it all by myself. Somebody help me. I can't make it all by myself. If you don't help me, darling, I got to find somebody else. Might have to wash, I may have to sew, I might have cook, I might even mop the floor. Somebody help me. I can't make it all by myself, no. If you don't help me, darling, I got to find somebody else. If you don't help me, darling, I got to find somebody else. somebody help me. I can't make it all by myself. Oh no, somebody help me. I can't make it all by myself. If you don't help me, darling, I got to find somebody else. When I walk, you walk with me. Baby, when I talk, please talk to me. Somebody help me. Said I can't make it all by myself, no. If you don't help me, darling, I got to find somebody else. To find somebody else. Darling, I got to find somebody else. You know, some of y'all haven't been down south. 1, 2. You know, I got this girlfriend of mine. She's from Sellersville. She got this thing called poke salad. Down Louisiana, the alligator goes so mean. They lived a girl that I swear to the world made an alligator look tame. Poke salad in a gator got your granny. Everybody thought it was a shame. Your mama working on a chain gang. Huh. Boss was lazy and no count. Claimed they had a bad back, and all your two brothers were good for stealing stuff now out of my backpack. Poke salad and a some
Gator got your granny, yeah. Everybody thought it was a shame. Your mama working on a chain gang. Well, well, now. Father was lazy and no count, claimed he had a bad back. All your two brothers were good for, but still it's stuff now out of my backpack. Poke salad and egg, and Gator got your granny. Everybody thought it was a shame. Father working on a chain gang. Huh.
Poke Salad Annie, I believe is the song, right? Oh, that
That
was a lot of fun.
The Gator got your granny, Tony Joe White.
Gator got your granny. Indeed, they did. I'll tell you what, I want to share some of the comments in here, but maybe as I'm looking through those, can you tell me, King Solomon, do you approach like a blues classic, like say, what'd you do? Every Day I Have the Blues, and like a more like pop song? I guess that's not really a pop song, but do you have a different approach when you go to handle like the real classic, deep classic blues canon songs than you do these other covers of yours?
With any cover song that we play, I always try to go in mind with that there's a certain type of feeling that each song has. And when the song came out, it being a Robert Johnson song, and then Cream taking it to a whole other level, I try to incorporate some of those true key elements.
Yeah.
Of course, always going to have the blues, but also understand I wasn't born during that time, so for me to copy the music completely, it's not really true to me. And I don't really look at it as putting a pop spin on it, even though there's things that kind of give it that type of flair.
Yeah.
We just try to put our own thumbprint into it, either change something or make it in a way that's give compliments to the original, but also for somebody in the next generation who hears it, it's like, oh, I get it, that sounds cool. And then you can pass on the history. It's like, oh, yeah, well, you know, Eric Clapton and Cream played it like this, and then Robert Johnson played it like this, and so many other so-and-so played it like this, and hey, folks, this is how we play every day at the blues. So that's kind of the idea behind it.
And then also, how do you go about choosing your covers, your interpretations? You in your catalog, you have some really cool choices. Like I just love that Beatles song you did. I saw her standing there in like this slow blues style. It was really great. Like what causes you to pick a song to cover?
You know, it's kind of like that scene in The Temptations where they have everybody sitting in the room and it's, hey, is this song a hit? And nobody raises their hand, and then they play another song. And say, is this song a hit? And then everybody raised their hand. You know? And some songs resonate with me better than others.
Right.
And even like with the songs on this album, you know, Love is Alive, and you know, covering some things like that, where it's not an original, but hearing it and playing, it's like, oh man, you know, that really feels good and sounds good, and I myself can get into it. And I guess if I'm going to be playing the record for the rest of my life, I have to be the first one to make sure that I really love it. And so, you know, of course, you can have a good friend and talk about the different songs, you know, what works best, and get to use a cool studio out in Brooklyn, Studio 99. Yeah, Studio 99. And you know, some people, they like to rush and just kind of go through things, but we have a process that we do, and it's kind of cool to take one song and then change it, and so that nobody recognizes it, and then when people hear it, their response to it, and it's been touring on this record, you know, going to Spain and opening up for Robert Cray and the little shows that we've done. It's been a good experience and quite cool to see how people take the song and they dance and get up. And you know, one song that we do, Have Mercy, you might have to check it out on, anybody out there listening, you got to check it out on Spotify. It's real. Let's go crazy, let's get nuts type of thing.
Well, but when you're listening to a song, are you wondering like, oh, there's something about that sounds like me, or are you challenged by a song that's very far away from you and you want to like give it some of your energy to it?
Sometimes I do like the challenge. Other times it's not like I don't think of it as, oh, I think I can put my spin on that song. It's more of, I'll hear something, it's like, man, I just really like it. And then when I play it, or when I'm working on it or trying to do the arrangement, I'm trying to take it and not where I sound exactly like the person who sang it or trying to play the exact licks, but try to put my own feeling and expression into it. Yes.
Oh, it's wonderful. Well, you're doing great work up there. I want to share some of these comments with you. Dawn Holke Slade is in the comments. She is a blues bass player, Kirk, so I know that she's paying close attention to your sweet bass lines. She says, how many times can I say great? I need a thesaurus over here. Love the originals. Love this choice of a cover. Great comment, Dawn. There we go. Gary Soretsky was having some audio sync issues, but now he's worked it out. Great. Glad to hear you, Gary. Tina Perry is here. She's very...
she's a friend.
She certainly is. She's a top fan, in fact. She's giving lots of hearts. Tina Perry Pastor, thanks for being here. What else do we have here? Holy crap, just reading his bio, and I can't believe he's only 25 years old, says Peg Dussablon. That's you and me both, Peg. Susan Tamush says, brilliant blues with claps in the fire emoji. Patrick Hickey, if you need applause, Cheryl and I can be there in 20 minutes or so. That's all right, Patrick. You stay on your couch and just give us some of those big clap hands. So, friends, this is a good time for me to remind you, if you're enjoying this evening's show, which I absolutely know you do, please take a moment and head over to King Solomon Hicks Venmo and PayPal. The links are in the event description, I believe over on this side of the screen. You're right, I think. And also, if you go down in the comments section, there's a pinned comment that'll have links to all of the places you can support the folks who made this evening's performance possible. King Solomon Hicks and the Sellersville Theater. We both appreciate your support. Thank you very much. King Solomon Hicks, your new album is out, and it's called Harlem.
Yes.
And it's really fantastic. Can you tell me, like, how many of the songs on the record did you personally write, and how many are co-writes, and how many are covers?
Oh, well, the two songs that I got a chance to co-write, it's me and Kirk. We did 421 South Main. And for those who don't know, it's the address of the Blues Foundation in the Blues Museum down in Memphis. And also one of my favorites, I spent a lot of time on Riverside Drive in New York City just watching New Jersey and I guess the river. And the second song is called Riverside Drive, and it's a real funky. The two instrumentals are co-wrote.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Well, eventually working on writing more down the line, but it's nice just to bring back some of the classics and songs that people have forgotten, and just kind of say, hey, this is still good too, and it's kind of for the people that haven't heard in a long time, it's something for them to reminisce on, and for the younger generation, people that haven't heard the blues or experienced, it's a shock to what they think that the blues is. And even though I love all the Robert Johnsons and the classic blues records of the 40s and 50s, I appreciate it, but some of my friends might not as much or want to dig as deep. So I find it's people like the Marcus Kings and the Kingfish and people like that, when play songs, it's like we're bridging the gap.
Yeah. Do you feel pressure as being that ambassador for the new generation of listeners? Like, do you feel a responsibility to represent the old style with any sort of integrity, or what's your relationship with sort of the tradition and the history of playing the blues?
Oh, so much pressure. That's why I still say I get nervous. Now, pressure in the sense of you get to a certain age and it's not like who's the best, but it's really just living your life and your own stories. And of course, I didn't have to go through what the people in the 20s and the 30s had to go through, and all. But there's still blues that's relevant today. Not just with love, but just I have to find it for myself, of course, and that's what I have to bring throughout the music. But just to really to play blues and soul, not just right, but to carry on the legacy. It's a lot of information, a lot of music, a lot of good players, not just the ones that made it and who are famous, also the ones who still are in the cities and the towns that are monsters in their own right. And I'm just fortunate to have good parents that supported me, my mom and my dad, having good mentors and friends that kind of gave me guidance and pushed me along the way. And it's just more pressure. It's good pressure. I accept the challenge, and as they say, it's too late to stop now. But I would never stop, and I find that I truly do love it. And I was that kid in school with the guitar on the back. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, keep doing it. You sound great doing it.
Oh, man,
we are enjoying this show.
This is a classic song by Willie Dixon. 2, 3. Everybody's talking about the seventh son, but in the whole wide world there's only one. Said I'm the one. Said I'm the one. Said I'm the one. I'm the one. The one to call the seventh son. Said I can say these words make you sound so sweet. Said make your heart so skip a beat. So heal the sick, so raise the dead. Make your little girls talk out of your head. Said I'm the one. I'm the one. Said I'm the one to call the seventh son.
so sweet. I can make your heart skip a beat. So heal the sick or raise the dead. Make your little girls talk out of your head. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. The one they call the seventh son. Meets the sea. In the heat of the night, I feel you opened up to me. Love comes out of nowhere, and the wind howls out your name. It feels like rain. It feels like rain. Lying here underneath the stars, right next to you. Open up the hatches, baby, and say, how do you do? Said, how do you do? Yeah. The clouds go across the moon, and the wind howls out your name. It feels like rain. Feel like rain.
open up your hatches, baby, and leave your heart out on your sleeve. Headed for some stormy weather that ain't no cause to leave. Ain't no cause to leave. The clouds go across the moon, and the wind howls out your name. It feels like rain. Oh yeah, it feels like rain. Feel like rainy, 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 rainy. Feel like rain. Whoa, it feels like rain. Said, oh, I wish it would rain. Oh, said, how I wish it would rain.
Oh, have mercy.
Anything by written by John Hyatt, can't go wrong.
Oh, my goodness. Gorgeous. Gorgeous song.
I at first I didn't realize I was a John Hyatt number. I first heard Buddy Guy and Bonnie Raitt play it, and then I did some research, and it's one of those things where you just go back and you see, oh man, so they covered this song, and they covered it, and each person has their own, way of their own interpretation of it, and it's real beautiful to see.
Isn't that the Temptations?
Oh, well, it's I wish it would rain, and this the John Hyatt was It Feels Like Rain.
Oh,
so I guess both meaning that some rain is coming, but I guess in different areas. But
man,
I do tell you what though, you have a good ear because I do mix the riff of I Wish It Would Rain.
Oh, that must have been it. My brain went into Temptations mode, and you mentioned them earlier. So.
No, it is subconsciously. But
Oh my gosh,
it's a beautiful way to see how the crowd responds to that type of song, and it's quite a force. And I hope everybody online enjoyed that as much as we did.
Oh, they certainly did. Marie Justine Lentz is saying, "Oh, how beautiful," and Roosh Berquist says, "Great performance, loved it." Marie also says, everybody show some love. Susan says, that was beautiful. Lots of clapping. Love any version of that song, says James Besh. Thank you, everyone. Let's. Why don't you head on over to King Solomon's tip jars and make it rain in his tip jars. How about that?
I wish it would rain.
I wish it would rain. So tell me this, King Solomon. I do see that you have that you give lessons on your website. You mentioned some lessons. Is that correct?
Well, when I was younger, I used to help out at the Children's Aid Society.
Right.
And because I played guitar, I was the one person that took it. Well, one of the people that took it seriously. There was a few piano players, but that's kind of how I got started. And I look at it, whoever wants to learn, I have no problem. Somebody taught me, I teach them, but being before so caught up on the road and with working on the album, didn't have that many students. So, I had to, maybe for later when I get older, I'll be able to take some more. But for now, it's just working on the road and working on songs and getting my own stuff together.
I see. Well, when you have somebody who's interested in learning, like me, for example, I'm a mediocre rhythm guitar player. Where would you start me off? Where would you recommend someone? Because listening to you play on that last song was like, how I wish I could play like that. And like, where does somebody start? Where did your musical journey start, and how did you navigate your way to get to where you are these days?
I find kind of what gave me my fire in my own playing. Being in New York City, New York is known to be a tough town on musicians where, like, if you don't sound good this week, there's 20 other guitar players or 20 other saxophone players or singers that want your exact same spot. So when growing up and being around all these musicians and hearing them, it kind of forced my ear to say, oh, man, this is what that sounds like. Man, it sounds so good. So one of my advice and what I tell people is that as much as it's fun and that you can learn from YouTube and online and through the computer, that I find one of the major steps for me was actually being out in the bands and messing up and not knowing the chord changes to a song and trying to figure it out on the spot till eventually that's that change. And fortunately in music there's only 4 places to go: major, minor, augmented, or diminished. So there's only so many things you can do. But the main thing is just, as corny as it sounds, getting out there and playing. And with this whole lockdown thing, it's kind of scary thinking about the next generation coming up. I'm sure it's going to get back to normal, but one of the true elements was, as I say, you just can't talk about it, you got to do it. One of those things. And the more you hear the records and you get accustomed to it, the more it comes out into your playing. What you listen to is what you absorb and what you emulate, that type of thing. And practice.
Practice. Yes. And start playing professional gigs at age 13.
Well, at least some some people start at 12, and I heard people.
Sure.
But whenever you start, I say, like I refer to the Santana example, the fact that he played violin first, and then later on when he was 18, switched to guitar. It's never too late for anybody, no matter what age.
When did you start singing, Solomon?
That's a very good question. I probably started really 14, but I didn't really like my vocals. I've always focused more on the guitar. It wasn't until later that I started finding my own voice, and believe it or not, still looking and trying to sharpen that too. But it's always the constant fight between the guitar and the vocals. The guitar is trying to be better than my vocals, and then that happens, and my vocals are somehow become better than the guitar. I'm trying to practice to get my fingers back up to speed.
I see.
But it was always guitar first, and it just wasn't until recent years that I listened to a lot of Bobby Bland, also Wilson Pickett. And it's kind of those blues and soul singers that really give me that's how they're getting that inflection, and then more in my head, the guitar becomes one with my voice, and to kind of get the whole like scatting thing, and how what you sing is what you play, and it comes from the brain to the heart and out through the fingers, and it's what you give to the people.
Oh my goodness.
Which is more, it's the feeling of it. Of course, there's a lot of theory and at home and learning the songs, but it's from the mind, the heart, fingers, and out to the people.
Do you have anybody who's teaching you, or are you just doing it all through emulation and through listening?
Well, now I would say I do it the old school way. I listen to records constantly. I like to make the joke and say people that aren't musicians, they can just listen to a song and just enjoy it for that one time. But musicians know we have to listen to it over and over. Not that that's a bad thing, but when you're really trying to learn a song or trying to get the feeling, You just don't get it just by hearing it once. I mean,
Right.
those back in the day, when people wanted to hear music, they would have to hear the stories. Ray Charles, them standing on the outside of the club, or so somebody trying to hear Ray Charles, they're standing on the outside of the club trying to listen in, or trying to get the records. And so now I find, I'm sure if I asked some people some questions, I would be able to find a teacher, and and there's always something new to learn, which is I find is cool. But really digging back, listening to old records, B.B. King live at the Regal, all those things, and just to get in my head the sound that I want to have. And you just have to, it's an everyday thing. It's not just one day click, I got it now, I can retire. No, I mean, some people look at it like that, but for me, I consider it more of, it's a journey, and, I've come a long way, but also have a long way to go. And to really stick with it and to perfect the craft is, you don't want to lose that art and just get lost in, just making it, but really to live life,
Right.
and not just the ups, but to appreciate the downs. And I find with the blues, it's when you're down, it's about how you get back up, as some of the folks say.
Gotcha. Now, how do you mentioned making it and looking down the road? Like, what do you consider to be? How do you measure your own success, and how will you know that you are successful if in 5 years? What will be the benchmark that you use to evaluate?
In a way, I just kind of look at it as I have to keep going. In my head, I find what keeps me going is when I play music for people, and there's somebody who I don't know in the audience, and I see their foot tapping, and they're just having a good time.
Right.
To me, that's the best success there is. After that, the rest is just, the material thing and just showing off, which is, of course, you want the bragging rights too, and, I want the career, so I keep going. But just to make people happy and just to see that somebody's having a bad day, you play for them, and then after the show, they're saying, hey, you just turned my whole weekend around. I was feeling really, whatever they're going through. And the fact that people are very sincere about that, I see the responsibility as a musician. And for me, that's kind of how in a way, I find I'm already successful in just making people happy, but also understand that I have to keep going and making a name for myself. But that's all the after stuff. I try not to think about that too much, but just really make myself better as a musician, a guitar player, an artist. And I find that it's interesting. There's always something new to learn, either on guitar, or I find somebody that I like listening to. It's, oh man, I like that move they did on stage, or I like that song that they played. And I try to use that, and it gives me life to play for people. And as they say, just going keep on going until the wheels fall off.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you, their toes are tapping right now.
Makes me feel good.
By the way, Peg Palermo Dosablon wants you to know that your vocals are just fine.
Oh, that's very sweet of her. Thank you.
That's right. They certainly are. Let's hear some more of them.
I mean, well, did you find that harmonica player for me yet, man?
You know what? There might be one backstage. Somebody might have left one there at one of the last shows.
Well, I think we're prepared. We have one of the best harmonica players all around in Pennsylvania. I got a chance to hang out with him in Memphis, and he's here for us tonight.
Is that Mikey Jr.? Mikey Jr., have you been sticking
None
around?
other.
Have you been back there since we were going to do that show weeks ago?
That's right. I've been waiting.
You've been just standing
I've been
backstage.
quarantined in the backstage area. I made a mural.
Good to see you, Mikey Jr.
Good to be seen. Good
Welcome to
to see
Soundbooth Sessions at long last.
you. Thank you.
What are you guys going to do for us?
I think we're going to slow it down with a classic
Oh, boy.
called Drifting Blues. I always love how harmonica complements the guitar. It's like a saxophone player do a good quartet. 1, 2, 3.
like a ship out on the sea. I keep drifting and drifting like a ship out on the sea. Now and then I wonder, does that little girl even care for me? I keep drifting, drifting, just like a ship out on the sea. Now I keep drifting and drifting, just like a ship out on the sea. Does that little girl even care for me? A little bit of Howlin' Wolf for you. Should've quit you a long time ago. I should've quit you a long time ago. Down by the border, baby, on this killing floor. I should've followed
my second mind. I should have followed my second mind. Down by the border, baby, my second time. My second mind. I should have followed, yeah. My second mind, yeah. Down by the border, baby, my second time. I should have quit you a long time ago. I should have quit you a long time ago. Been down by the border, baby, way down in Mexico. Been down by the border, baby, oh, to the second floor. Been down by the border, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, boys.
Round of applause for Mikey Jr., y'all.
Mikey Jr., well done. Mikey, before you get off the stage, when are we going to get you back here for a Soundbooth session, my friend?
September 19th, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
September the 19th.
September 19th. I'll be there.
All right. Thank you.
Mark your calendars, folks. Mikey Jr. on Soundbooth Sessions. You heard it here first. Breaking news. Saturday, September 19th. He'll be back. Boy, that was pretty great there, guys. Well done.
It's good to have some good friends.
Yeah, how did you meet up with Mikey Jr.? How do you guys know each other?
You know, we're friends because playing out in the Bucks County Blues Society, got a chance to play out at that festival. It was my first time here, Mikey, and being in Manhattan, you don't get a chance to hear too many good harmonica players. You kind of got to...
Is that right?
Well, you know, even just the fact that they call a Mississippi saxophone. I had to go to Clarksdale to find that. No, they didn't tell us up here, man. I don't know what's the deal. But it's a beautiful sound, and I like to say, same way a saxophone player compliments a jazz band, harmonica player compliments the blues band, and Mikey brings it all the time.
That's why he certainly does. All right, King Solomon Hicks, I got to ask, what is next for you? I know you got this new album out, but what's coming down the pike? What are you thinking about now? What's your next project?
We're already in the process of working on some songs for the next album, but actually we have a couple of other shows out in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
One September 2nd at the Exchange, and we're playing out in Bloomsburg, PA. So however many miles is out on the ways.
It's not that far.
And at Penn's Peak once in September.
Oh.
In September and October at Penn's Peak.
Oh, very nice.
Don't mind me looking over at him. Always got to have a friend to help you with the names. But yes, in September and October, we're playing out in Penn's Peak, and it's just great to take a moment and not be just going from gig to gig and from doing the shows, and to take a step back and focus on some new songs and some new material for the upcoming album, because you have a set of material, then I'm still growing with my artistry, and fortunately I have the time and space to work on some new stuff.
Mm-hmm. How is this? How is the current situation affecting your creativity and your productivity and your inspiration level? Are you juiced by this, or is it a struggle?
I thank the Sellersville Theater so much for having me and Kirk out here to play, because I didn't realize how much I missed playing for people, and even though it's just my good buddy behind the camera right there making me look good, and and you up there is just to play for folks is kind of what I live for, and I'm just missing everybody. I miss seeing, even though we can sit outside, I'm missing seeing the people, and just the simple fact of dancing and the fact that you can't get together. But hopefully being optimistic, and once I find a cure for this thing, everybody get back together, and just gotta keep on strong and keep on going.
Well, I'll tell you,
keep on keeping on.
The crowd is absolutely loving this. Stuart Wyatt saying, now this is the blues. What a trio. Boy, you guys sounded great on that. A lot of love for Mikey Jr. and the three of you playing together. Gary is enjoying the interview interludes. Very good. Yes, I am loving to hear King Solomon tell us about good stuff. A lot of hearts, a lot of claps. Susan wants to learn how to play the harmonica. Sounds great. Let me see. More claps. Big clap hands. Claps, claps, claps. Thank you very much, folks, for all the claps. We're loving it too, King, says Patrick. They love you in there. They've been missing hearing you too.
Oh, man, Pennsylvania's real special. I was just starting to do some tours out in this part of the woods, and it's cool meeting new faces and new people.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. All right. What's next?
We're going to have to see you further on down the road. Further on down the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on down the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on down the road, baby, you just wait to see. You got to reap just what you sow. That old saying is true. Got to reap just what you sow. That old saying is true. So when you mistreat someone, someone's gonna mistreat you.
got to reap just what you sow. That old saying is it true? Got to reap just what you sow. That old saying is true, yeah. When you mistreat someone, someone's gonna mistreat you. So further on down the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on down the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on down the road, yeah. So baby, you just wait to see, yeah.
Oh boy, that's nice stuff. King Solomon Hicks, thank you so much for being here on Soundbooth Sessions. You've been an absolute pleasure to listen to. Thank you so much. Friends, in the comments section, make sure that you head on over to King Solomon's links and show him your support. This will be your last chance coming up soon. King Solomon, I wanted to ask you before we close out here. The blues seems to have a heaviness and a sadness and a darkness to it, and yet you seem like a pretty positive guy. And I'm wondering, do you need that darkness to be able to convincingly play the blues? Like, do you need a rough life to do the blues?
I seem quite happy, but my humor is very dark, so that's where the blues comes from. No. It's funny. I get that question a lot, and that's what I mean when I listen to certain blues, that I feel it, but also not being brought up and being born in like the 20s and 30s, where blues, where those songs came from, and the type of pain that people had to go through. I find you can't really. As Bobby Rush and Buddy Guy are really the true blues musicians that are from that time. So when I'm playing, even though I know that there's sad songs, that some of the lyrics I'm singing, it's not talking about love. Sometimes help me is either help me, my darling, I'm gonna have to find somebody else.
Yeah.
I try to find songs that uplift people and not so much focus on the sadness. And even though I do sing sad songs, I have a lot more time with Polk Salad Annie, where I can get people, up and moving, and that's just something that I realize that I relate to, and that's what makes me feel good. And I can try, I wish I had the frown like Gary Clark Jr. and have to walk, but that's just, I would be not true to who I am, and so with the whole set list and the songs, and it's cool to work with a producer that understands that, where it's you want to make people feel good, let the other people kind of have the sadness. So on one hand, I do think that you have to have an understanding of it. And on the other hand, it's know that you don't have to have that sadness, and that as long as you feel it and that you're true to yourself, you do have the blues. But then I also make the joke that the best blues players have no teeth. If you ain't got no teeth, you can, Muddy War, I don't want to make the joke, but I am joking with that, yes.
Well, let's see. You said about the truest to yourself. If for those of us who are going to go and get your whole catalog and spend the next few weeks listening through it, is there a musical moment that you've captured where you feel like you hear yourself on the record? Like which is the moment that is the truest example of who you are as a person?
You know, I have to say that I hear it, I feel it, I feel that feeling that you're talking about every time I hear the solo one, I'd Rather Be Blind. And just hearing it back, it's like, you know, I know I'm not there yet, but that if I had to sound a certain way, the specific, not too sure what minute it popped, either two minutes and 30 seconds, 2:45, but when that solo hits, it's like, man, this is that sound. It's just a proud moment for me where it's like, okay, if I can sound like that or get close to it, that means I have to keep shooting for it. And you know, you might not get it on the first take, but you know, that's kind of a moment for me when I hear the record. It's like, man, wow, this is that, you know, it's a cool feeling as an artist and as a musician.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and thank you for your music this evening. Have absolutely loved meeting you and hearing you.
And it's a pleasure.
Take us home, King Solomon Hicks.
All right, this is a favorite of many people off the album, and it's also becoming one of my favorites as well. When you hear it, you no doubtly know what it is. 2, 3, 4. The devil loves a rich man loves his gold. Don't believe anything that can't be bought or sold. Open up your Bibles here on chapter 1. Eve picked up the apple, the devil's work was done. Fire down below, heaven's up above. We all got something that we're hungry for, and that's what the devil loves. The devil loves a poor man. A poor man's gotta eat. He knows he can tempt him with the taste of something sweet. Right there on the dollar says, in God we trust. The devil sits there waiting till those dollars turn to dust. Fire down below, heaven's up above. We all got something that we're hungry for, and that's what the devil loves. Fire down below, heaven's up above. We all got something that we're hungry for, and that's what the devil loves. A baby, every time it cries, banking on the emptiness that's building up inside. They say that something wicked comes from something pure. For a while you're not satisfied, then you're just not sure. Fire down below, heaven's up above. We all got something that we're hungry for, and that's what the devil loves. Fire down below, heaven's up above, yeah. We all got something that we're hungry for, and that's what the devil loves. Sellersville Theater, thank you so very much. Everybody on Facebook, it's so good to see you virtually and imagine you're there.
Oh, they're there. Thank you so much, King Solomon Hicks. Let's take a moment and give a big thank you to Kirk Yano on bass and Mikey Jr. back there on the harp. And, of course, thank you, King Solomon Hicks, for your music, for your singing, your playing. We certainly enjoyed that, folks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me and us here on Soundbooth Sessions. This is our weekly live stream show. We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh my goodness, on Saturday with Vanessa Collier. We'll be here tomorrow on stage with the amazing Arthur Nielsen on guitar. Yes, you'll recognize Arthur from Shamika Copeland's band. That was a great show, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your clicks. Thank you for your hearts and your big emoji faces and your clapping and all the energy that you sent our way. Please make sure that you visit those links on your way out. The Venmo, the PayPal for King Solomon Hicks, also for Sellersville Theater. We'll be splitting all the proceeds that come in this evening. If you would like to support Sellersville Theater in other ways, please consider becoming a member. For the low price of like less than $10 a month, you can help us keep the lights on and the music playing and keep shows like this happening. We're very happy to do this for you, but of course we need your help to do it. Who else do I have to thank? I would like to thank Jeremy Hoban, who is our camera operator this evening. Thank you, Jeremy. You did a great job. I want to thank Allison Faga, who's in the comments, being your moderator. I want to thank Mark Register, who helps me research these shows and come up with the questions, and is generally a tremendous technical help behind the scenes. And we want to thank you for being here. We couldn't do it without you. And that's our show, folks. See you tomorrow and again next week.